ACC, and they're number 1 in interceptions with 16. You know why, man? We talked about it a couple weeks ago.
And you're listening to the Ryan Stewart Show.
The kids want that turnover chain.
Right. Love the turnover chain.
And you know why they want that turnover chain? Because when you get that turnover chain, you get to stand on that bench.
Right.
And that camera's on you for 15 to 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And you're looking at, when I watch that game.
That's a huge part of getting that turnover chain.
When I watch that game.
Very smart. Very smart.
When I watch that game, the hunger of every player on defense and how they move about their assignments is amazing.
Right.
If they run a 4-4 and they're on the football field and it's between the whistles, they're moving at a 4-4 speed.
Mm-hmm.
And the D linemen and everybody, they are getting after it, man. I do believe that Miami's back, man.
Okay.
You got Rozier, who's 4th in the ACC when it comes to passing. Miami scored 50 points once, 40 points twice, 30. I mean, they're putting up points. And they got a coach who's never had this assembly of talent in one group with these cats from South Florida, man.
So, question, is Notre Dame that bad or Miami that good? Miami beat Notre Dame 41-8. I didn't even see that coming.
41-8.
I thought this was going to be a close game. Notre Dame was actually favored in this game on the road.
That was a double-digit line when Notre Dame and Miami played, and I took the points in Notre Dame. Because I kept telling you I don't believe in them. I don't believe in them. They hadn't really played anybody either. Well, they turned it on versus Notre Dame. And I saw something that I haven't seen in quite some time. And they're going to be tough to beat. When they get to the ACC championship down in Charlotte, North Carolina, and they play Clemson, that is going to be an amazing game because it's a bunch of I can't say that.
You can say anything you want.
It's a bunch of ninjas that's really about their business.
Right.
On those two teams.
On both of those defenses especially.
On those two defenses especially.
Yeah. All right, so the top 10, Penn State, number 10, number 9, Ohio State, number 8, Notre Dame, number 7, Georgia, number 6, Auburn, number 5, Wisconsin, number 4, Oklahoma, number 3, Miami, number 2, Clemson, number 1, Alabama. What are your thoughts about the college football rankings this week?
I absolutely love how the committee has ished all over Wisconsin and kept them out of the top 4.
Okay, expound on that a little bit.
I like how the committee is saying to us, I know the numbers and I know what the computers would say, but we look at the eyeball test before we put our top 4 together.
And I think people, we talk about this all the time, and we got some guys that listen to the show that are fans of the Big Ten. They're from Ohio or Michigan or whatever, and they're saying without a doubt, if they go undefeated, they're going to be in the Final Four. You have to remember, the committee says they use the eye test too.
They have the eye test.
And so they're basically saying, do they think Wisconsin can beat Oklahoma, Miami, Clemson, or Alabama? And they're saying no. That's it. So people forget about that's part of the equation.
So because of that, we're not going to waste our time and put them in this top spot.
Right.
To pacify y'all because they're undefeated.
Right. Just because they're undefeated. That's part of it. You know, their record is part of it, but part of it is, do we think said team can beat other said team?
Before I expound upon this any further, man, I want to come clean with you and tell you that I think Wisconsin should be in the top 4. And I think UCF, who's 9-0, should be a whole lot higher than 14. I really do. When you're 8, 9, and 10 ball games in, and you're undefeated, you can't piss on me. Yeah, but that's not fair for you to piss on me.
But their record is padded. UCF, their record is padded. They don't play anybody.
I get it.
And if they play, do you think UCF could beat Ohio State? Seriously.
I think that UCF.
We got to be consistent. We just talked about, do you think said team could beat other said team?
I think UCF and USF could play on the field with Ohio State right now. Right freaking now. Sorry.
Damn.
Sorry.
Knock over your mic.
Right freaking now.
But do you think they could win? Of course, they got Division I type athletes. Do you think they could win?
I do think they can win.
Wow.
And that's why I stressed having played 8, 9, or 10 games and you're undefeated. Teams like, oh man, Penn State with 2 losses. Southern Cal with 2 losses. TCU, Oklahoma State. These teams with these 2 losses should not be ahead of UCF.
Mm-hmm.
Especially those teams. They shouldn't. Those teams aren't blockbusters. Those teams don't have the lineage and the history of the Bamas and the Miamis and the Notre Dames.
Right. And listen, this is your show, and you're listening to the Ryan Stewart Show. But that's part of it, man. You know, it's not just what they do as far as wins. You look at their competition, and you look at the guys in the field.
I get it.
If Ohio State got a roster full of 5 stars and is undefeated, and you look at or got 1 or 2 losses in the Big Ten, and you look at USF and they got a bunch of 2 stars, that matters. You're just not going to ignore that if you're one of these guys in these committees.
I love the committee using the eye test, but I don't think it's fair. And you and I used to get into this every year.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Around this time of year when it came to what Boise was doing in the respect that they were given or not given.
Right.
I had a huge problem with them getting pissed on.
Nobody ain't checking on no damn Boise.
Okay, so let's talk about this real quick, man. With what I saw the last 2 weeks.
And you're listening to the Ryan Stewart Show.
Especially with Alabama and Mississippi State.
Mm-hmm.
I think Auburn. I think Wisconsin. I think Clemson. I think Oklahoma. And I think Miami would give Bama a run for their money if they play in the final game of the year.
Yeah, Bama feels like they could be had this year. What they did with Mississippi State this last week, several games this year.
I don't know what it is exactly that I don't like about what they're doing or not doing, but I do know that it's not the Bama of old that's hanging 30, 40 points on cats.
They're scoring points, but they're getting a lot of points by certain teams scored on them too. So I don't know what it is. Hurts doesn't seem like he's really progressed that much as a quarterback than when he had his freshman year last year. I don't know. It does seem like Bama could be had this year.
I'm sad for Penn State and James Franklin. They just can't get right now. They were doing an outstanding job. They've taken the 2 losses. They're back on a 1-game winning streak. But I think they had an incredible opportunity that they took their foot off the gas. And I keep seeing in college football and in the NFL, these coaches that every single week when they get up 12, 14, 17 points, they get in this prevent defenses and they stop doing exactly what they did to get up 12, 13, or 14 points.
I don't remember. I don't even know if we even talked about this. Your thoughts on the playoffs and the 4 teams. Do you feel like 4 teams is good? Do you think they should go to 6? Do you think they should go to 8? Remember now, there's 5 power conferences, but only 4 spots. Well, I don't know your thoughts on that. What are your thoughts on that? Because the way it sounds like to me, is you're saying some of these teams that's not in the Final Four could compete against Alabama and the teams that are in the Final Four.
I don't see why it's not 10 teams at a minimum. I don't see why it's not 8. I just don't see it. And it will eventually be, because you can't tell me that the top 8 teams right now, Ohio State 8, UGA 7, Auburn 6, Wisconsin 5. You can't tell me that they can't mix it up with the big dogs that's in the top 4. I see them mixing it up. Mm-hmm. I really do. And I think Georgia's probably got another loss coming their way. And you know why I say that?
Why?
Not because they're playing us, but if there's one thing that we do, we run the football.
Uh-huh. When he says we, you're talking about Georgia Tech.
We run the football. The Jackets run the football. And one thing I saw Georgia being exposed to versus Auburn is stopping the run. So you're not going to stop us from running the ball. You're not going to stop us from moving the ball. You never do. Oh, yeah, that game's played here in Atlanta. Oh, yeah, they're still riding their own coattails. If you listen and talk to Georgia fans, they're still riding their own jock and their own testicle beat, talking about they should still be in the top 4. So they still believe in the hype. Mm-hmm. They're primed for an upset. I wouldn't be surprised if Kentucky hangs 21 to 28 points on them this weekend. I wouldn't. So, yeah, man, I do think that the 4-team playoff system was the opening, it was the key to open up the gate for a playoff period.
You're listening to the Ryan Stewart Show.
There's no way within the next 5 years.
When they redo the deal.
We're not talking about 6 to 8 to 10 games or teams that have a chance at a national title.
Quickly, Georgia Tech got a big win this weekend over Virginia Tech. Record right now, what's your record? 5-4 right now. Y'all got Duke and y'all got Georgia. Good old-fashioned hate.
We need one more win to be a playoff-bound team.
What's your thoughts about the job of the team this year, man? Paul Johnson, what y'all do offensively. Y'all quarterback threw the ball 8 times, had 2 completions in the game. Taquan Marshall went 2 for 8, 140 yards. And those 8 passes, just 2 completions went for touchdowns. A fan or not of the offense and what you guys do at Georgia Tech?
This offense is killing us. It's killing us. And the reason why it's killing us is because Paul isn't recruiting 4 or 5-star players.
He's not even trying.
No, man. No. He's getting 2, 3-star guys that are familiar with what he does. So that's not out-of-the-box thinking to me. This offense is part of the reasons why we don't have bigger studs on defense. We run a base 4-3 defense. We run a 5. Maybe it's not even 5-4. Maybe it's a 4-4 defense. Whatever it is, it's a defense that cats can come here and get a shot at the league by playing. Mm-hmm. But those cats ain't coming here because the offense is so hokey-pokey. This season is a huge disappointment because the Tennessee game should have been a win. We let it go. The Virginia Tech game shouldn't have been as close as it was. We almost lost that. The Miami game, a team that's now in the top 4, number 2 overall, we had by 14 points. Mm-hmm. And because our offense does what it does, if any team that has better talent plays disciplined football for a half, they got us.
They got
us.
Yeah.
That's why we keep falling short in these big games.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not a fan. I stopped complaining because he has on average won about 8 games a year. And it's a tough place to play. I understand. It's a tough place to get your studies. I get it.
How does it feel that y'all, I talked about this earlier this week, so I'm interested to hear what you got to say. Y'all pretty much the only big boy college football program that runs that shit.
That does this.
That triple option where they have the slot guy doing the little motion.
The only teams that run it that you even care about or know about are us, Navy, and Army.
That's right. Citadel.
That's not big boy football.
So when Johnson is gone at some point, y'all going to have to start over from the very beginning.
It's going to cost us 4 to 5
years. Because the players on your team right now come from a program in high school where they did this shit.
It's going to cost us 4 to 5 years. There's no doubt about it. And that coach, whoever comes in for him, if he ever leaves, I mean, he might find a way to win another 8 games this year. If he wins out, we got Duke this weekend, then Georgia, which I think we can beat, and then if they win those 2 games, they'll be going to an OK Bowl. He might win that one too. So look, we're right back at 8 wins in a bowl game.
You're listening to the Ryan Stewart Show.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not fussing about it no more, man, because the guy has done a fairly good job.
Well, he's been here this is his 10th year.
It's got to be a decade. It's been a decade of just blah, blah. Hey, man, where you go to school at? Oh, Georgia Tech. Oh, really? Blah.
Right. All right, when we get back from the break, man, we're going to take a quick little break here. When we get back from the break, man.
These damn Falcons, sir.
The Falcons this past weekend, the tailgate was tremendous.
It was crazy.
I mean, it was crazy. Debauchery. Did you see the debauchery that went on at the end? I'll talk to you about it during the break.
At the tailgate?
Yeah, you missed this. You missed this.
I was sauced.
Hey, back in 3 minutes, the Ryan Stewart Show.
One morning out some bomb ass cock. My dick kinda limp, so I cruise around the block. Call my cousin Snoop as I swoop in the coupe. Stop by my homie Blue House to puff on the loop. See my little homie Style, who I ain't seen in a while. Damn, they gon' floatin' on cloud 19. Liquor store, so I grab some mixed gin and juice. Got a quarter pound of buzz, so I'm fucked up too. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Bell back in the crib because I'm all in. Conversated, then I dug that hoe out. I fix me some food and bone the hell out. 2 a.m. on the jizz out. I pause and I stiz out. I reminisce on that ass that I rizz out. Now I'm high as a kite. Yeah, and I'm feeling alright. 4 a.m. as I stroll back to my crib to see what's with my woman and my newborn kid.
With my mind on my money and my money on my mind. We do this every day about the same time. B.I.